So it's wonderful to be here on this occasion. Always it's great to be in Vancouver, and it really adds to it in good weather. And I have just so many memories about Vancouver that I will spare tonight, but many of them circulate around my residences and performances of Western Front. Quite extraordinary things. My two regrets tonight is that my wife Karen couldn't be here for financial reasons, and a deeper regret is that I'm not performing with BP tonight. I think that would have been a wonderful 40th celebration. But although I did actually resuscitate the Toronto Research Group performances that haven't been done since his death, and we did them in Buffalo, and it was quite wonderful. Okay, I thought I would read with... what I've been trying to do recently is surprise myself, if that's the only reason to write. And I started querying the classics. I finished querying the Shakespeare sonnets, and I finished Dante's Vita Nuova, and I'm now working on Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. So I thought I'd start with a couple from this. This is the Summoner's Prologue that we all know by heart. Castle cake, half size of castle cake. This proof castle cake got okay. Castle cake, half wrap, okay. Castle copy kitty torn, castle calf rib size. This okay, okay. Castle cake choke, okay. Castle choke cake cattle, okay. Castle half size, castle whole proof, okay. Size, cat size, very good, okay, okay. Capricorns copy size, okay. Cattle copy cattle not cake, okay. Cat not cat cattle cat copy cat half rib not castle cup, okay. Okay. Castle size rib cup tight torn copy indicate, okay. Half castle rack torn, okay. Very good, indicate cat torn indicate, okay. Okay. Castle cake copy cat size rib tied, okay. Okay. Half size cattle choke, rack torn, okay. Cattle cake, cattle cat, coat cat, rib tied, castle choke, cat not proof. Oh. Cat rack torn cat, very good. Okay. Oh. Half size, copy size, nice cat. Castle cattle, cat, choke cat. Okay. Cat cake, castle cat, half size torn cattle half rib indicate. Okay. Cattle okay. Okay, cat okay? Okay, half-size cattle key, not cat copy cake, oh. Indicate half-size, very good, cattle god choke, cat indicate half-size, cat size, indicate a very good castle choke, cat good choke, cat okay, okay. Copy torn, not castle cat, good god, castle copy, rip torn, cop cat size, cattle castle choke, hole proof, okay, okay. I think I would read a couple of sections from a fairly longer piece, The Cook's Tale, that is actually in this issue of the Cat Review. I put careful pencil marks that I can't see in this light. Here we go. 10 seconds earlier, rice cakes, butter, and bukkake baths appear in a passage of automatic writing being penned through the subconscious mind of Marcel Datrine, the infamous surrealist from Liège. You can rest assured, mon ami, that blowing up a book is like blowing up a building. Giovanni Rocco Focaccia is commenting between one of Marcel's pauses. Giovanni is a superannuated futurist of small merit. He believes his canvases are the sacred places where Captain Speedy meets the little bombardier and personnels all extant services with parole in libertà. Give me spontaneous nihilism every time, retorts Hugo Ernst, the famed lame Dadaist from Darmstadt. Although I have to admit, those surreal images can be quite spooky sometimes. Come to think of it, so can other things, especially poetry without words. I had previously thought poetry could be the ideal alternative to organised religion, but not anymore. Latrine, Focaccia and Ernst have recently returned from the funeral of the logical world, a quiet event with a few select guests and no flowers. Is this seat occupied? Inquires the axis of evil. Only by me, answers the anonymous voice mentioned earlier. Then let me join you for a cup of tea and a cigarette. That's a nice suit you have around you. I really like that dodecaphonic collar with a lime green trim. Is it a corporeal conception? Sort of, but not necessarily. As an access, I prefer to go around examining all the alphabetum romanums, looking for a suitable website on which to post my findings. On websites for spiders, inquired Patsy Parboil between hiccups, and with a somewhat obsolescent air. Not if we're talking hyperspace. In the nostrils of his memory, the poet reflects on his dilemma. The page is the room the poet must get out of. It is the absence of his text to be. On completing the writing, the text too will be absent beyond him, the absence of his text to him. And so he never will be beyond the page, the absolute room in which doors can only be imagined, windows merely hypothesized. Can I be of any help? Asks an empathetic Rosie. Hardly, Rosie. It's a metaphysical problem I need to dwell on for quite a while, for every place is a centre to the earth. It is the sign of a continental corner of the world. Then have something to eat while you're dwelling. Supper arrives around 8, but refuses to be served. I forgot to mention that the poet's name is Victor Plonk, a poet of no fixed abode and an illegitimate child of Hermann Goering, whom he often quotes. Moreover, Plonk is a highly furtive man for reasons best kept to himself. Through a panoply of odd gestalts, he tries to navigate his thinking along his habitual brain paths of others. 2 hours previously, Victor Plonk, in pre-Raphaelite camouflage, is knocking on the forehead of Coriander Pierpoint Morton, an opulent, generous, and very cultured spinster. Lecherous with abstinence, both he and she develop an aversion to disembodied expressions. Both now share an urge to be internalized. Either you're my gift from God, or else my devil's legacy. But either way, I shall dress you in samite, Coriander. Careful, cowboy, my love bites are lethal. Nature, my darling, is creeping up on us, and after all of this, it is the age of indiscretion. Do you masturbate? I do, and readily admit it, but only for personal entertainment. Bring it on then, mousy-waxy. This kitten's got claws. The wind blows the window open, causing the blood diamonds encrusted in Coriander's tiara to shimmer. Ah, when we kiss, it feels like the primeval clash of imagination with brevity. I agree, so why capitalize them? Wham, bam, slam. So that's it, Twinkle Fingers, inquires a very disappointed Coriander with a somewhat continental affectation. I am spent, Coriander, as a nickel is on Boxing Day. Get down to it again. I can't, my love. In fact, it might be more pleasurable next time to have sex with a pig. I hear they've got great staying power. Did I leave any biological traces of our tryst? Lucky your safety hatch was sealed, so why don't you tweet me sometimes? Across from him, Rosie Pagoda reads a book with affable condescension. Chapter 1 commences with the following conundrum. Eggs at 8 with Eleanor elected. Elegy so the emperor ends up in England among the English, enkindled by his entrance into epic epitaphs to Eros. Every evening equals every elegance, except everyone exudes an exeat to expose expression. These words are spoken by a character named Jean-François Laflamme, a failed Olympian who gained 700 place for the world's longest lipogram. He is also a friend of both André Breton's mother, an inmate 3762 of Stalag 89, described in detail in chapter 4, which is itself a self-styled nephew of Jesus Christ and cultivates the gift of ambiguity. Rosie Pagoda turns the page, cleans her thoughts, yawns and nods off. Why don't we open up the pages of the farmhouse and just let it speak? Casually, the book slips from our hands, the covers closed and detach, until eventually they are leaving the present for an unknown destination. "Where is Rosie Pagodi?" asks Dolly Donnelly to the vacant air. She is singing her spinning now," replies the weight of another world, as if Hans Weihinger could have put it differently, as there, in a mirror, they all begin to define. And a very brief section from the Tale of Sir Thopas. Blair must make sure Eleanor's latest fashion show is a hit with a particular client, and Rufus volunteers Jenny to help. However, trouble occurs when Chuck and Blair face a challenging decision and Dan and Vanessa's relationship hits a snag. Meanwhile, Serena arranges a surprise party for Nate, but Jenny does her best to sabotage Serena's efforts. Dan and Vanessa's new relationship now hits a bump in the road. Nate and Serena consider moving beyond being just friends. Meanwhile, Rufus tries to avoid Lily. Blair realizes that Chuck keeps thinking about the mysterious woman at his father's grave, and Jenny agrees. Nate and Serena decide to explore the boundaries of their friendship. Blair suspects that Chuck is having problems forgetting about the woman he saw at his father's grave. Jenny agrees to accompany Damien to a state dinner, but is unaware that he needs to help her with a drug exchange. Vanessa and Dan attempt to move past the awkwardness of Dan's confession of love. Rufus returns from a ski trip and tries his best to avoid Lily. Dante and Brenda secretly meet. Lisa tries to trick Patrick. Brandy commiserates with Spinelli as Robin wakes up at a horrifying sight. Sonny breaks up with Claire. Olivia catches John conspiring with Carly. Lucky finds Siobhan packing for Ireland. Brandy tells the truth. Dante is confronted. Luke persuades Tracy to run away to Las Vegas. Carly presses Spinelli for more information about Brenda's past. Patrick comforts Robin. Lisa tries to defend her innocence. Sonny opens up to Brenda. Claire gets evidence against Sonny thrown out. Robin is faced with terrible danger. Sonny thinks Claire is putting her job up before the relationship. Sonny demands the truth from Claire. Dante makes an accusation. Luke tries to win Tracy back. Carly takes Spinelli into investigating Brenda's latest drama. Sonny gives evidence to Claire. Lisa receives an apology. And it goes on. These were actually appropriated from the TV Guide synopses of Gossip Girl episodes. The entire thing goes through the entire year. I won't tell you what happens to Spinelli. And I will close with an ongoing piece called Gobbi Vedda. And Amy from England, you may have heard me read this at Birkbeck. Shout out if you have.
I did.
You did? Okay. So, from Brazilian demolition artist of the antisocial, from madness to community care, hardly the conscience of the state. It was that unmitigating sense of post-war alienation that led to knee pads and structuralism. Couldn't shiver in the change from Persepolis to Baghdad, rice peasant to a Muslim woman in Marseilles, instead of Katrina Aftermath in his Arcades project. Played out in a neo-Stalinist coup if Tamil tiger headaches constitute a consolation prize. In the kitchen poem, an egg slides over pain, kissing militant Islam on the lips of Branwell Bronte in Afghanistan, segregating late romanticism from a broad conception of the Shalwar Kameez, with perhaps Dick Cheney quoting Berryman's dream songs for a day or two, or Walter Benjamin on the laws of tribal regions in Parisian suburbs, all broad masculine inquiries into the second empire of Princeton University. Pinch, punch, first of the interrogations, based on pain without questions. I met my love in the Pentagon, in a headscarf with collateral bands on human rights and species renewal obligations. Which way then to the bombed-out supermarket? Too fat a day to run quicker, needing more poets to die in peacekeeping forces. So let me compare thee to a slithy Tove, in connection with a sudden lifting out of realism into magical politics. Hashish protocols in place before Petrarch and Dante flannerized the gender infractions. It's why I'm enamoured of the contemporary, and why I say it in slices. Pepsi resolutions on the price of coca, sunset chronotopes, including another Jesus sighting into Crete, where early modern fingernails still circulate the local currency. I'm happy to report some market optimism from the mummy pits. Savant safeguards catalogued via the regular stelae rosetta syndromes should prove lucrative for shabby figuration trends. Black line on top means promotional discount, means the strap-on biodiversity suggests Manet's water lilies correlated with strategic studies on afterbirth among Tibetan butterflies. And then it's poetry again. Sanitized elegiac moments in late Pashto. Love poems on Cambodia, according to the local leftists' call for a collective leap into Anglo-Catholic porn. We doubt, therefore we should. Two shadows on one internet. To Google sweet mona innominata component. It's a cultivated landscape for the interfacial Aeolian harp of teeth, smiling at grief. How scrivened to be eros padikos. Returning in the marvel of minuteness with paradox, exaggeration, courtesy, the Dean of Dublin or Barack Obama. Rest assured, the new Atlantis will be Anglophone with xenophobic rebates. So embrace me, love spittoon around the burnt-out truck in rocking horse cravat. We mass-produce the concepts in Taiwan before shipping to Reykjavik through athletic ethnicities. Gear shift St. Brendan to Command Central, thinking it Brazil till it belly up Stearns on a thought pin. Memorabilia of coming runner-up in Empire, the theoretical hero advanced with buttocks in paradox cataster. Zara's approximate man who knows Spaltung equals condensare. Now try to sequence this supplement of biennial parities. It should contain all known Cocoa navigation renewal filters as its Delphic syncopation. But take off. Don't mind me and my Dracula ratings. Svelte tenor bull possessing the need to know nothing. Little half-pint Descartes stuck in the background in Picasso's forgotten portrait of Oulipo. The cocktails enhanced by rim-weak alteration factories. Your inedibility benefits endorsed via blue curtain collar policy and 3-day grace at sempiternal grummet clinamen, all calculated at the height of this pink flamingo's guardrail. Sunsets over a settlement cost. I think I'll retire or underwrite interim speech patent stridulations through Wisconsin. Without worldwide emergency counselling, where would we be? Sign up for it. Don't volunteer to incur attorney pride options as your mid-June dividend expires. You should have no problems with the Galactica-Guernica period of artifactual enhancement. Where do we land at this mine? The buttons tight on the Agamemnon scratch pad ratings. Your girlfriend setting over the Pacific Rim with its Pearl Harbor relapse portal repaired for instant replay. So bring it all back, only palindromically this time. Pimps out the nightgown collection on display in fallacious expectancy ratings, and noon at blue to the man who heard shadows. That might consummate the Christmas party guidelines for a different terrorist sonata clause. Loved that disinterment treaty with its Vanessa Valhalla corrugations, letting the seven dwarves ride again, yet still preserving the Hixiative ideas. Traffic cop to the soul of Islam, having Wanderlust in your wonder bra, post-Thatcher Reagan coordinates resurging, which should help minimize the antisocial software setbacks. Repeat after me in a modernist Stimmung. Sally brought the lamprey into trigonometry for evolution with return to sender painted on the gift-wrapped cluster bomb. How times don't change. Enola Gay's elegy written in a Nagasaki mortuary ricochets off post-Culloden gamuts. Thus, the poet turns to painting, river run to Holocaust. Or, quote, how about a dash of projective verse in your martini epic fragment, unquote. God knows Antarctica needs its anarchy, with blunt force trauma effectively supplied to the seal puppy's new confederation, and all those midnight cockix parties with the Pope needed for reviving proper names. This is the Langston Hughes of Howard Hughes, at a ruined heliport in Transylvania called the United Nations, until Ed Dawn comes along with autotriography, forging the conscience of his race. Thank you.